You're sober, I'm sober. This may not end well. I see that photograph, I perversely think revolution, because revolution in the way news is created, news is delivered, the passive audience at an appointed time listening to you and me, the voice of God. And then I fast forward to the age of the eyewitness, at a point when, with a camera phone, 8 years old, you, anybody, can go out there and witness and record an event that can change the narrative. And you know what? You don't need to go through us, the journalists. And I'm a journalist, and I'm a 25-year veteran of foreign correspondency. This was me in Iran. It's like watching the sausage being made. It's not very glamorous, but I had the monopoly on the production of news because I had a camera crew and a satellite dish. And it all went. 5 years ago, I realized that in the age where we have this overabundance of content, because everybody can tell a story, everybody, we have 100 hours of video uploaded on YouTube every single minute. How much is it? In the last 10 minutes, it's gone to 300. And in this age, we have to come back to what I think we can now call the Jeff Jarvis furry cat problem, where we all think that essentially all that's up there on YouTube every single minute is complete crap. And of course, if you talk to a newsroom executive, they'll probably tell you that this is what the UGC is. The eyewitness media is basically, at very most, a peripheral part of what we do, a little addition we make. And at the very least, it's a pile of crap. But I beg to differ. This is a screen grab from a video taken on a tank in the town of Zara in Syria. It's a GoPro camera on top of a tank filming the moment that the convoy is attacked by rebel missiles. And what's remarkable about this image and this next image is that this is the opposite point of view. This is the rebels filming their attack on the tank. For the very first time, as a foreign correspondent, I could see in real time 2 vantage points of a war in front of me. That authenticity has led, I think, to all of us realizing that UGC is no longer peripheral. User-generated content is a massive opportunity, like the BBC recognized, where you can make it the cornerstone of a golden age of storytelling. But the problem is that's the exception. This is probably the rule, where we have the Boston bombing being covered. And here's a traditional news organization confounded by what they're seeing from the social web. What this audience, used to be an audience, are telling them in real time. They're confounded by it because they've got an old way of putting out the breaking news. And what we're seeing more and more is this mad rush to try and monopolize the content from the social web. We see this crazy effort by news organizations to own social content. You can't own social content. Now, at least what we have now since May is a report that shows us the scale of the challenges, but also the opportunity of user content, produced by the Tao Center at the Columbia School of Journalism. This report starts to give us, at first, a definition to use about what we can call citizen media. And citizen media is essentially any content produced by people who are not journalists and don't have relationships to newsrooms, and I would argue as well NGOs and public bodies. So we have a definition, but we also have incredible pitfalls. And in this report released back in June, what they did was talk to executives who recognize that we have a problem. We're in a wild west, where we as news organizations can't distinguish between the outlaw and the sheriff. To give you a couple of examples, we all take verification for granted, but what about credit? What's the ethical responsibility you have to credit the person who's created the content? Because remember, they're real people telling real stories. 16% of broadcasters surveyed by this report credit the person who created the video. In verification, here, for example, is an eagle coming down and stealing a child. Complete hoax, all bullshit. When you ask news executives in this report what they think about verification, they call it the V word, because everyone groans because it takes too much effort. When you think also about how you distinguish this user content from the original content you produce, you would think that everybody tells the audience this is UGC. They don't. 28% of broadcasters in this report didn't actually tell people that it was activist video. 2 more problems, among many, is you probably ask people to send you videos from weather events, putting themselves in danger. Do you ever think about your responsibility? Here the Coast Guard are calling out bullshit on Sky News because they're asking people to put themselves in danger. What about inside your own newsroom? Do you realize that consistent exposure to the barbaric imagery we see from places like Syria is creating an undiagnosed mental health problem in your newsroom? These are simply just examples that we've culled from this report. I ask you, call to action. Join with us. We've created the Eyewitness Media Hub, eyewitnessmediahub.com. Go, sign on, check out your responsibilities, and be on the right side of the revolution. Thank you.